Thank you for visiting my channel. Before we start, please hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons to receive notification of future presentations. Our topic for discussion is antichresis under Articles 2132 to 2139 of the New Civil Code. In civil law, antichresis refers to the contract by which a creditor acquires the right of reaping the fruit or other revenues of the immovables given to him in pledge on condition of deducting annually their proceeds from the interest, if any is due to him, and afterwards from the principal of his debt. Article 2132 of the New Civil Code defines antichresis this way. By the contract of antichresis, the creditor acquires the right to receive the fruits of an immovable of his debtor, with the obligation to apply them to the payment of the interest if owing, and thereafter to the principal of his credit. The parties to a contract of antichresis are the following: the antichretic creditor and the antichretic debtor. The antichretic creditor is the party who receives the real property as security for a loan or obligation and is entitled to use and enjoy the property, including collecting the fruits, namely the rental income or produce, which may be applied to the payment of interest or principal. The antichretic debtor is the owner of the real property who delivers possession to the creditor as collateral for the loan or obligation. The debtor retains ownership but grants the creditor the right to use the property until the debt is satisfied. The characteristics of antichresis are the following. 1. It is a formal contract. The agreement must be in writing, otherwise it is void. 2. Accessory contract. It is dependent on a principal obligation such as loan or other indebtedness and serves as security for its fulfillment. 3. Unilateral contract. Once constituted, it generally creates obligations only on the part of the creditor, namely to apply the fruits to the debt and return the property after the obligation is settled. 4. It is onerous. The creditor may use the property and enjoy its fruits, but they must be applied to interest and principal payments of the debt. The creditor may also be responsible for expenses related to the property's maintenance. 5. Possessory security. Unlike a mortgage where ownership and possession remains with the debtor, antichresis requires the creditor to take possession and use the property. And number 6, non-transfer of ownership. The creditor does not acquire ownership, only the right to use and benefit from the property's fruits until the debt is settled. However, the creditor may later foreclose on the property if stipulated in the agreement. The following are the special requisites of the contract of antichresis. 1. It can cover only the fruits of an immovable property. 2. Delivery of the immovable is necessary for the creditor to receive the fruits, not to make the contract binding. 3. The amount of principal and interest must be specified in writing. And 4. Express agreement that the debtor will give possession of the property to the creditor and that the latter will apply the fruits to the interest, if any, then to the principal of his credit. The obligations of the antichretic creditor are the following. 1. To pay taxes and charges on the estate, including necessary expenses. However, the creditor may avoid this obligation by a. Compelling the debtor to reacquire enjoyment of the property or by stipulation to the contrary. The second obligation of the antichretic creditor is to apply all the fruits after receiving them to the payment of interest if owing, and thereafter to the principal, to render an account of the fruits to the debtor, and to bear the expenses necessary for its preservation and repair. Remedies of creditor in case of non-payment of debt. Number 1 is action for specific performance. And number 2, petition for the sale of the real property as in a foreclosure of mortgage under Rule 68 of the Rules of Court. The parties, however, may agree on an extrajudicial foreclosure in the same manner as they are allowed in contracts of mortgage and pledge. However, a stipulation authorizing the anti-credit creditor to appropriate the property upon the non-payment of the debt within the agreed period is void. Article 2137 is a prohibition against pactum commissorium. What is pactum commissorium? Pactum commissorium is a prohibited stipulation in a mortgage, pledge, and antichresis where the creditor automatically acquires ownership of the mortgage or pledge property upon the debtor's default without the need for foreclosure or public sale. Why is it prohibited? It is considered void under Articles 2088 and 2137 of the New Civil Code because it is oppressive to debtors, depriving them of the right to redeem or recover their property through proper foreclosure or auction procedures. The elements of pactum commissorium are: first, there is a security arrangement, namely mortgage, pledge, or antichresis, and second, a stipulation exists that automatically transfers ownership of the collateral to the creditor upon default without public sale or judicial foreclosure. If such a provision is found in a contract, it is void, but the rest of the agreement may still be valid if it can stand independently without the illegal clause. Now let's move on to the codal provisions. Article 2132. By the contract of antichresis, the creditor acquires the right to receive the fruits of an immovable of his debtor, with the obligation to apply them to the payment of the interest if owing, and thereafter to the principal of his credit. Article 2133. The actual market value of the fruits at the time of the application thereof to the interest and principal shall be the measure of such application. Article 2134. The amount of the principal and of the interest shall be specified in writing, otherwise the contract of antichresis shall be void. Article 2135. The creditor, unless there is a stipulation to the contrary, is obliged to pay the taxes and charges upon the estate. He is also bound to bear the expenses necessary for its preservation and repair. The sums spent for the purposes stated in this article shall be deducted from the fruits. Article 2136. The debtor cannot reacquire the enjoyment of the immovable without first having totally paid what he owes the creditor. But the latter, in order to exempt himself from the obligations imposed upon him by the preceding article, may always compel the debtor to enter again upon the enjoyment of the property, except when there is a stipulation to the contrary. Article 2137. The creditor does not acquire the ownership of the real estate for non-payment of the debt within the period agreed upon. Every stipulation to the contrary shall be void, but the creditor may petition the court for the payment of the debt or the sale of the real property. In this case, the rules of court on the foreclosure of mortgages shall apply. The first paragraph of this article is a prohibition against pactum commissorium, which we have discussed earlier. Article 2138. The contracting parties may stipulate that the interest upon the debt be compensated with the fruits of the property which is the object of the antichresis, provided that if the value of the fruits should exceed the amount of interest allowed by laws against usury, the excess shall be applied to the principal. Article 2139. The last paragraph of Article 2085 and Articles 2089 to 2091 are applicable to this contract. Thank you. If you find this presentation helpful, please subscribe to receive notification of future lectures.